Hey, this is Candace from Naked Yoga Therapy. I'm creating this video for a little recap of a few workshops that I did a few weeks ago on erectile dysfunction or challenges and how to approach this challenge. I am in New York, so there may be honking and other unexpected sounds. Not smells, but sounds. And so how can we playfully navigate erectile challenges in a natural way where we're not taking prescription drugs? And if you are taking prescription drugs and want to come off of them, how can we make this an easeful way to bring back your erection, bring back your sensuality and your divine tantric self? So a few things. Erectile challenge is 55 to 85% physical. So that means that's a pretty big margin to work around. If you change your diet, maybe things will get a little bit smoother. Diet, exercise, sleeping, these things can be really helpful. Also, maybe there's stress within the relationship. So just remembering that our society has not really given men too many tools to go deep within their emotional livelihoods and to really recognize that it may actually not be at all you or physical, but maybe just a very natural response to something that's fundamentally not working, not with you, but with possibly your partner. So that's something to think about. Erections need relaxation and playfulness. So relaxation. Maybe take a few conscious breaths. Maybe take a few conscious breaths with your partner. And if you're breathing and connecting with your partner, especially connecting, eye gazing to it, that is certainly a fundamental tool and way to connect that Tantra uses. So breathing, and it doesn't have to be anything special. It doesn't have to be a really challenging breath. You don't have to engage things that you're unsure of. Just breathing a little bit deeper than you do, and filling your lungs with breath. So playfulness, going into the interaction with curiosity instead of expectation. Not even having expectations of yourself. If arousal happens, that's great. Maybe your penis will be used. I think that we are pretty used to talking about sex and sexual encounter in a very penetrative way or perspective. That's not really the case. There never has to be penetration. There are so many other beautiful things to give pleasure and receive pleasure that have nothing to do with a penis. Having self-compassion and less fear. So being compassionate with yourself. Taking it easy, being easy on yourself. It's not your responsibility to provide your partner with all of their pleasure throughout all of their days for all of their life. That is just not your job. Your job is to take care of you and to take care of your pleasure. And and less fear. Fear can be a tricky one. But again, I really think that the breath can help. Also, like a heart-centered breath. Maybe you want to put your hands on your heart and take a deep breath. So instead of fear, connect with love. Connect with centeredness. Connect with your breath. Connect with your heart. Whenever you connect with your heart, you're less able to go into a mind tizzy of fear, and you can just be a little bit more embodied, especially if you bring your breath into that. So being internally receptive will be helpful. Staying open. Again, this is about heart. This is about breath. Whenever your heart's open and your breath is deepened, you simply are far more receptive than if things are closed, shut down, constricted, quiet, furled, and huddled. So opening up a little bit. Deepening your breath a little bit. Staying receptive. Staying receptive to the encounter, whatever it is the expression of this encounter. So having less stress and fear. As we know, cortisol and adrenaline are connected to stress and fear, which will send blood to all the places in your body except to where you want it, which is probably your genital region. So if blood is being directed to go to your muscles in a fight or flight, very natural way of being, then erection will be farther to get to. Perhaps your erectile challenge is related to hormones. Maybe you have estrogen in your diet from cow's milk and all these things that we really shouldn't be eating. So getting your diet in check and your hormone levels with what you're intaking, that can be helpful. Another big thing that I really want to talk about is the health of your prostate and how this can help with erectile challenges and healthy erections. So your prostate is amazing. Amazing. Prostates are amazing. It's a gland, it's a muscle, it creates excretions, it helps for your entire pelvic floor health. It's pretty much like a filter for your system, and it's just great. And it can also be really pleasurable for some people. So it's a tool for pleasure, and also, of course, it's very functional. So let's see. Yes, its filter removes toxins and protects your sperm. It's pretty amazing. If you're not sure where your prostate is, there are many, many, many books and online references where you can see photos. It's basically kind of towards like the front interior part of your body, kind of nestled underneath your bladder. You can get to it maybe by pressing your perineum. You may be able to feel it, but that's not really the best way. The best way is to actually go internally through the anus. You can really feel the gland. But if you're not quite there yet, you can do prostate strengthening practices, aka Kegels, PC squeezes, or love muscle squeezes. So this is a pretty user-friendly way. Every single person on this planet can benefit from a stronger and healthier pelvic floor. I tell this to prenatal moms. I tell this to postnatal moms. I tell this to men, women. It can help with strengthening your orgasms. It can help with ejaculation control. It's just a good thing to do. Every person should be doing this. Anyhow, so a few practices you can do. You can try to just squeeze your anus. Maybe take an inhale. Think of your anus as being soft, relaxed, not doing anything. That's the inhale. And then exhale, squeeze your anus. And do this about 10 times. And then you, of course, can increase it to 10 to 20 to 30 to 60 to 100, however many you want to do. Also, once you kind of locate your anus and what that's like to squeeze, which is probably the easiest, everyone kind of has that awareness, you can try to do more of like a urethra squeeze. So if you were peeing, you would squeeze and stop the flow of urine. I wouldn't recommend doing this if you're actually peeing, just because your urethra, you want things to flow out. I wouldn't want, especially with women, we have shorter urethras, and certainly don't do this because things can go back up and you can get a UTI. This can certainly happen with people with penises as well. So I would recommend not peeing or not doing this whenever you're peeing. Urethral squeezes. You can do this on the inhale. Inhale, soft pelvic floor. As you exhale, squeezing the muscle that would be used to stop the flow of urine if you were peeing. And again, you can do this 10 to 20 to 30 times and increase it as you desire. All right, so the pelvic floor, the PC, pubococcygeal region, connects your pubic bone to your tailbone. So the pubis to the coccyx, and all the muscles that are multi-leveled, multi-functional kind of hang like a hammock. And again, I'm just super talking this over very basically, but yes. All right, so strengthening your pelvic floor. So whenever you squeeze, you can also do this quickly, like a squeeze, release, squeeze, release, squeeze, release. So you're massaging your prostate, you're getting a little bit more circulation to your pelvic floor and pelvis, and this can be really helpful with strengthening your ability to get an erection. All right, so a non-invasive way of prostate strengthening and training. So another thing that I would recommend is more pelvic movement. So if you're standing, maybe just making your hips in a figure 8 or like a sideways infinity. So more pelvic movement. You can also do this laying on your bed. You can be on the floor or a yoga mat or wherever, your bed, and just bend your knees, bring your knees up towards the ceiling, lift your hips, and same thing, just move your pelvis. Move your pelvis, or kind of raise your spine up and lower it down, like raising it up and lowering it down. So this can be helpful. Also, having a little bit more sensual expression with your masturbation and or lovemaking. So if you are a partner of someone who has erectile challenge, maybe you want to explore lingam massage or sensual massage or sexual bodywork, and how to touch your partner in a slower way, a way that doesn't necessarily even need an erection. But again, it may spontaneously happen. So the quality of your touch can make such a difference. The presence of your touch can make such a difference. Your breath and your eye gazing can make such a difference. And if you're doing this solo, if you're the one having the challenge, the erectile challenge, then maybe touch yourself in a slower way. Forget the porn too. Let's come back to more sensations in your body instead of external stimulation as the end-all only way of doing things. So touch yourself, be mindful with yourself, notice your breath, notice your body, notice the hands, notice your skin, notice the temperature, notice everything that there is to notice. The more that you can be in the present moment and find all the really amazing nuanced details of the present moment, the more embodied and in experience of the senses you will be, which is great. All right, we talked about the internal prostate massage or the PC squeeze. Let's see. I think that's where we're going to end this video today. So I hope you learned a little bit about erectile challenge and a few different ways to navigate that. One more thing I want to say about maybe you have a partner who has erectile challenge. I would recommend being very creative. Being very creative with your lovemaking, being very in charge of your own power and pleasure. How can you go into the sexual experience not assuming that there's not going to be an erection, but if that is the case, what are you going to do about it? How are you still going to make this something divine, something magical? There's a lot of different ways you can still get a lot of clitoral pleasure from an unerect penis. You can still really connect with breath and eye gazing and sensual touch. You can really feel pleasure with nipple stimulation. And you can really be connected by just sharing verbally vulnerabilities, or, how you're feeling or what your partner's feeling. Okay, so now that is what I will leave you with. I hope some or parts of this was helpful. If you have any questions, you can email me. Again, this was really inspired by an invitation to do a few workshops on erectile dysfunction. Okay. Blessings and happy boners.